Chairman Frederickson?
Here.
Chairman Noble?
Here.
Chairman Goss? Chairman Shores? Here. Chairman Waters?
Here.
Chairman Swap? We have a quorum, sir.
All right, everybody, please stand for allegiance. And Jed, would you mind leading us tonight? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, everybody. All right, item number 1, approval of minutes. A, regular meeting minutes of May 11th, 2021.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I have a motion. I need a second.
Second.
I have a second. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? I hear none. Thank you. Item 2, consideration of public comments. Those wishing to address the Planning and Zoning Commission need not request permission in advance. Action taken as a result of public comments will be limited to directing staff to study the matter or rescheduling the matter for consideration and decision at a later time pursuant to ARS 38-431. A, hybrid meeting in-person attendance, call-in participation, and written comments. This is a hybrid meeting with 3 opportunities for public participation. In person, those wishing to address the commission in person do not need to pre-register, but space is limited and will be allotted on a first-come, first-served basis. Attendance priorities will be given to presenters first and then non-presenters. 2, call-ins, those wishing to address council by telephone will need to pre-register by 9 a.m. on August 10th, 2021 by emailing planning@cityofkingman.gov and provide their name, address, telephone number they will be using, email, and agenda item they would like to comment on. Once registered, a link with additional instructions will be provided. Only those who have pre-registered will be admitted to the meeting. 3, written comments. All written comments must be submitted prior to 9 a.m. on August 10th, 2021 by emailing planning@cityofkingman.gov or dropping off the comments at the Community Development Department in the main city complex at 310 North 4th Street. Members of the public can watch or listen to the meeting live via Channel 4 or on YouTube at youtube.com, City of Kingman. Dawn, do we have any comments?
No, sir, we do not.
Thank you, Dawn. Item 3, reports. A, reports of past council action. Staff will report on the City Council's recent actions on items previously heard at the May 11th, 2021 Planning and Zoning Commission meeting. Richard?
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the commission. There are 3 items that were heard at the City Council meeting on June 1st that were previously heard by this body, the minor general plan amendment and rezoning case regarding property at Western and Wilshire, and those were both approved unanimously. And there was an abandonment case that was approved also unanimously for parcel G, that was the walkway in Rancho Santa Fe.
So all 3 were approved, Rich?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Richard. Excuse me. Item 4, new business. A conditional use permit case CUP 21-0001. A request from Dion and Marnie Lowick, applicants and property owners for approval of a conditional use permit to allow mini storage warehousing on property zone C3, commercial service business. The subject property is located at 3421 Harrison Street, immediately north of the Kingman Academy of Learning Intermediate School. The site is approximately 1.88 acres and is described as a north 132 of southeast 1/4 of Government Lot 2, except the east 40, section 7, T21 north, R16 west of the G and SRM, Mojave County, Arizona, APN 320-10-076.
Chairman, I need to.
Okay, sir, you may be excused. Thank you, Jed.
Mr.
Richard?
Chairman, members of the commission, this is a conditional use permit case, CUP 21-001, and it's a request to allow mini storage warehousing at 3421 Harrison Street. The applicants and property owners are Dion and Marnie Locke. The property in question is Zone C3, Commercial Service Business. This map shows the location of the property with the surrounding zoning. The property itself is indicated by the star on the map. The area to the north and to the northeast is Zone C3, along with the property. To the south is the Kingman Academy of Learning, the intermediate school, which is Zone C2. To the west is the Academy High School and primary school, which are zoned R140. Further to the south is Centennial Park, zoned RO, recreational open space. To the east of Harrison Street is an area of vacant property, zoned R4. There are apartments to the south, also zoned R4. And this map shows the actual surrounding uses. To the north is a Unisource yard and a electric substation. To the northeast is the Circle S campground. East of Harrison, as I said, it was a vacant property. And the academy has, as I mentioned, several schools adjacent to the south and west of the property. The site is served by utilities, including an 8-inch water line and 12-inch sewer main. Harrison Street, which provides access to the property, is a 70-foot wide right-of-way with a street that's paved with curb, gutter, and sidewalk on both sides of the street. This is a view of the property looking east from Harrison Street. You can see the Academy buildings to the left and the Unisource property to the right. So under the new zoning code, there is a requirement for the applicant to conduct neighborhood meetings prior to hearing before the Planning and Zoning Commission this evening. The applicant conducted 2 neighborhood meetings on June 27th and June 28th. They notified all the property owners within 300 feet as required and posted the site. And there were no attendees at either meeting, and there were no comments received by the applicant regarding the proposal. Next, we did the notice of public hearing as required. We sent out a second letter to the property owners regarding this meeting. We posted our notice. Notice was placed in the minor. And again, we didn't receive any comments from the public. In terms of department and agency comments, both the fire department and the building life safety inspector had similar comments regarding the buildings. They're proposed based upon square footage. Looks like it may require fire sprinklers or potential revisions to the plans. However, that can be addressed when the construction drawings are submitted at the building permit stage. And it was suggested that pre-application meeting be held. Frontier Communications had no objections. They just stated that the developer would need to exercise caution when performing excavation work in front of the property lines. Unisource said that they would ask for a 16-foot wide utility easement running the length of the property, and there were no comments from Mahoning County Flood Control. So the conceptual plan that was submitted shows 208 storage units with an office on the property. The total gross floor area of the buildings is a little over 30,000 square feet. They're indicating 98 units that would be 10 by 20, 98 units that would be 10 by 10, and 12 units that would be 5 by 10, along with the 400 square foot office building. The storage units would be accessed through a security gate with a single access drive and a driveway from Harrison Street. There would be paved internal driveways that would range from 21 to 33 feet wide. They're showing 28 parallel parking spaces that would be along the outer access drives. There are 3 parking spaces, including 2 ADA spaces located outside the security gate for the public. There are also landscape areas shown adjoining Harrison Street and also in the rear retention area of the property. The proposed conceptual plan at this point does appear to meet the requirements of the code in regards to the drive aisle width, fire lanes, and the unit sizes. And I realize you can't really see this site plan very well. This is the full plan. But I have a couple of other views of the drawing as well. It's a little blown up. This is the entrance off of Harrison Street. And I'll go over these red line comments here in just a moment. But essentially, this is the entrance to the site. You can see the 21-foot wide driveways that would be accessing the units in the interior of the property. And this is just the west side of the property, showing the retention area, which is kind of that hatch marked area along the west side of the property. The general flow, drainage flow is to the west, so that's why the retention is in the rear. So under the public hearing process in the new zoning code, CUPs are actually approved by the Planning Commission rather than the City Council, so you're no longer a recommending body, you're an approving body in this case. CUPs are not heard by the City Council unless the decision of the Planning Commission is appealed by somebody. So in your consideration, in your deliberations this evening, the Commission is asked to make findings in the following items. First one is whether the conditional use request is consistent with the objectives of the code and the purpose of the zone in which the site is located. The mini storage warehouse use does appear to be appropriate for the location and the intent of the C3 zone, in the opinion of staff. 2, granting the conditional use will not be detrimental to public health, safety, or welfare. And this includes any property damage, nuisances, hazards, or traffic impacts that could be created by the use. We don't anticipate any apparent any hazards or nuisance that would be likely generated by this fairly low impact and fairly quiet use. Also, significant traffic would not be expected to be generated. According to ITE, an estimated 5 to 8 trips would occur during the peak traffic hours, which are 7 a.m. to 9 a.m., and again from 4 to 6 p.m. And that would be also somewhat, especially in the morning, congruent, I guess, with the traffic that would be generated on Harrison Street from the schools. So it would not be a significant addition to the traffic that would already be occurring within that area. The third finding is that the characteristics of the proposed use is compatible with the surrounding area. So the CUP shall only be issued if it's determined that the applicant has addressed certain issues to ensure that compatibility. Number one has to do with bulk regulations, and after our review, we've determined that it appears that those have been met for the C3 zone. And I'll back up in just a moment to that view of the site plan. A portion of the trash, the trash receptacle is located in a portion of the 21-foot wide drive aisle. We're recommending that to be relocated to maintain that width requirement, which is a requirement of the standard for the mini storage units. Also, within our zoning code, we have our architectural standards that would need to be followed. For example, no more than 25% of the area of the walls visible from the public right-of-way on the exterior of the building can be various types of surfacing, including metal. So staff is recommending that all but the interior sides of the storage building and office building closest to Harrison Street adhere to that requirement. I'll just back up to that map so you can see where the trash receptacle is located currently. Again, recommending that be relocated. And then the red building facades that are shown on this map, we're recommending that those particular facades adhere to the maximum 25% allowance for materials such as metal. that those facades not exceed that 25%. And the other options are, of course, stucco, brick, other types of materials are permitted. Getting back to this slide, all landscaping will need to meet the minimum requirements of the zoning code. They didn't really detail that at this stage, but we would have to make sure the building permit stage that's adhered to. Same thing with the signage and outdoor lighting. Mentioned earlier that Unisource is asking for a 16-foot wide PUE. That would be something they would have to adhere to. Otherwise, we believe that impacts on public utilities should be minimal. There's no anticipated additional dedications of right-of-way needed, and there are no known historic, prehistoric, or natural resources on the property. So with that, staff is recommending that the Planning and Zoning Commission approve the CUP to allow main storage warehousing at 3421 Harrison Street by affirming the findings as stated in the code and attaching the following conditions. 1, relocate the trash receptacle so that the 21-foot width is maintained for the vehicle drive aisle. 2, all but the interior sides of the storage units and office building located closest to Harrison Street shall be composed of materials as stated in the code. A.1, such as brick, block, stone, or stucco, and shall not have more than 25% of the area of the wall consist of materials as stated in section 8.2, which includes metal. 3, dedicate any utility easements that are needed as determined by Unisource. And 4, provide fire sprinklers to the proposed buildings or revisions as necessary in accordance with the fire code. So with that, I'll be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Anyone have any questions of Richard?
I don't have a question.
Sure.
But can you go back to the maps where it showed, yeah, keep going, where it showed like the C-140 and,
The zoning?
yeah, the zoning, yeah. So that's right on Harrison, and it's on the side of the school, right?
Yeah.
Right,
On the
it's the
same
lot
side.
just north of the school.
So at the corner there, you have that Citizens Utilities shop, and it's kind of like between,
It's
behind
between the
that
two
property
lots.
and, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
And
you
I
can
don't-
kind of see it from this photo here. You can kind of visualize it.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
You didn't have any information on this, but are there any safety concerns for locating a storage facility right next to a primary and intermediate school?
Well, as far as there being anything stored in those units that is potentially a hazard, is that what you're concerned with, or?
Just in general, so I live really close to the storage unit, right across from the North Safeway, and there's just a fair amount of homeless people that like kind of almost live in it. Like they have units and they just like spend their days in there.
Right.
So I guess my only question is it normal to put storage facilities right next to schools? It seems a little unusual to me, but.
I can't think of any others that exist in Kingman currently, as far as, people living in units that's not a permitted use. They can't operate businesses out
Well, they
of
don't
them
sleep
either.
in them. They just, they're there all day. So it just raises a few concerns as a mom. And I've never seen storage units put right next to schools before. But
Yeah. We did notify the school district, and we didn't get any comments, so I would defer to them if there's any concerns.
How tall is the perimeter fencing around the complex?
Well, currently there is a fence between this property and the school. I don't know the exact height. And I don't know whether they intend to build a different fence. There's no requirement for fencing, but our standard is in the commercial areas, they can be up to 8 feet in height.
Barry, any questions, Richard?
Just the notice, if you could move to the the map that actually shows the ortho photo. I think it's just a couple slides away. Just go back one more. That apartment complex down there, I think it's like Harrison Apartments. It was just the owners of that were noticed with mail, right? Just the owners of the actual apartment.
The owners would have been noticed, yes, not the individual tenants.
Sorry, but you posted signs, so people that live there could have seen it.
They posted signs for the public meetings that they were held in June, and then we reposted for this meeting.
Okay. Thank you.
Any further questions, Richard? All right, Richard, thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody have any questions of the applicant? I see the applicant is here. All right, I open it up to the public. Any comments from the public? I see none. Closed. All righty, open it up to the commission members.
Sure. Just a quick comment. Driving by this almost every day for most of my life, the Citizens storage yard there, it's pretty industrial. I don't see this causing issues, especially given the city's stipulations that this be built, without all this, a whole bunch of metal exposed to the public. Again, I don't really see too many issues with that Citizens yard being so close to the school as it is.
I agree. I think aesthetically it will fit right in with what's going on over there. And I mean, honestly, it could be of a lot of use to the people who live in that apartment.
I think to probably answer your question, I believe there will be an on-site tenant during the daytime.
I'm not exactly sure. The new trend is.
Mr. Locke, could you come to the,
Please step, no, you can step up to
come
the,
up to the,
step
yeah,
up to the
thank you.
microphone. State your name, please.
My name is Dion Locke, and there's two ways we can go, because I'm going to have an office there. You can have an on-site person there all day. The newest trend with mini storages around the country are kind of like when you go to McDonald's now, you go to the kiosk and you order your stuff, you don't even deal with the person. And so when a person signs up, they do it on their phone. They're given they pay on the phone, and they're assigned their unit. They're given a gate code to get in. Have security cameras throughout the whole mini storage. That's probably the direction I was planning on going, since that's the new generation wants that. They don't want to deal with people. So there's those two ways to go, but I'm leaning towards the kiosk.
Well, the only reason why I ask is to address Elizabeth's concern.
Right.
That we don't have, and I know a lot of it's sometimes hard to do, but people lingering all their day long, and I'm sure you don't want that there either, but.
Right. So I own a small convenience store here in town with some mini storage now. It's only a 79 unit mini storage. I don't have that issue there. I'm sure that probably does happen somewhere. But with the security camera, and I did look at the fences, the fence on the school side is pretty tall with barbed wire. Mm-hmm. And then the Unisource side is extremely tall. And
So you're sandwiched right in between.
Huh?
You're sandwiched right in between the
Yeah,
fences. and
exactly, right. Yeah.
So on the side, excuse me, the side, the fence line between you and the school, what is that, chain link?
Yes, it's chain link with barbed wire on the top of it.
Okay.
And then there's with the plan, the road in the mini storage is between the fence and the buildings.
And are you planning on changing that fence, or?
I don't
adding
think
maybe
so.
Like like those little slats or something in there, and,
That could be done. I know it's the property of the school, but
yeah.
So I guess it just really rubs me the wrong way, having like an unsupervised place where you can store anything, where people can hang out, like right by everybody's babies. Like just
I
with
understand.
how everything is in the world these
Sure,
days.
sure.
And I'm sure there are really beautiful storage facilities, but they don't seem to attract like always like really great clientele. And so just necessarily having people that might be doing things who are completely unsupervised right there next to the kids,
Right.
it just makes me a little apprehensive. And I'm not used to seeing storage facilities built by schools.
I totally understand that. It will hopefully be my baby, you know, it's my life. I mean, I don't have like a million businesses and stuff, and I'm getting ready to sell my little store, and this is all I do is going to be this mini storage. And I mean, with the facility that I have now, like I said, I don't have that issue, and the amount of traffic with 79 units, you know, I might get 2 people a day, maybe, go into the mini storage. Just doesn't, I mean, people put their stuff in there and then they come once a month or something, you know, to.
I totally agree. I'm just saying, to me, it sounds like I'm a little nervous about saying okay with the weird people that are in the world these days. It would be a great place to like set up a great school massacre.
I think, Bobby, to maybe address your concern, one is a private individual setting up these versus the one on Stockton Hill is a major
Yeah.
across the United States. So I think that's a difference in a concern where here you got a local person there, whether or not if they're local or not, but it's a major, you know, I'm not going to say the name, but I think we all know.
Right.
Right. And I mean, I plan on being there a lot, and when somebody calls for prices or questions, they're calling me, and, you know, a lot of these places, they call a switchboard, and, you know, this is just me, so,
Well, I think, you know, that it would be, you know, a good place for a storage unit, but, you know, to address, you know, concerns, because there could be other parents that have the same concern, being a chain link fence, things could be passed through. Maybe, you know, those metal slats, you know, that go into the chain link fence, maybe consider something like that. And,
right?
you know, that way it's
Little privacy.
a little privacy for the school and for, you know, your units, you know, and kind of stop that as a deterrent.
I'd almost think that it would be, in that concern, I would almost think it would be better not to have privacy slots. I mean, that way there's more visibility. On the school side, can see anything that might go on in a mini storage, but.
Because the intermediate playground is like right up against that storage unit.
I thought the picture showed maybe, if I was not mistaken, slats.
I don't think there are.
I don't think so.
Oh,
Well, on the Unisource side, there's like
There is.
okay,
a
that's,
material
Yeah.
that they put on
okay,
their
that's
fence.
where
Yeah.
we're looking.
Kind of a
That's what we're-
windbreak is what it
Yeah,
is, I
okay.
think, so.
Any further questions of the applicant? Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Open it back up to discussion.
Right now, if you look from the school, look through there, assuming that both fences aren't slatted, you're going to see much an industrial property. I guess the issue is just the proximity of it. The city is very tough about like graffiti or things like that.
Yep.
Yep.
You know, yes, we clean it up within a day. The problem with the loitering in there, I haven't seen it, but I haven't lived next to it. Imagine the big issue with that.
We have 3 people living in the one by my house, so,
So then that's where a call to the
yeah.
authorities needs to happen.
I mean, they don't like sleep there because they're
Well-
homeless, but they have chairs and they sit there all day, so.
So with that being said, I'll entertain a motion.
Make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
I have a motion for approval. I have a second. Any further discussions?
Mr. Chairman, could you clarify the motion? Is it subject to the conditions of approval that we
Please.
included in the staff report?
I make a motion to approve with the condition that slats be included in the fence to prevent view to the property.
And
Well, there's like,
Ri-
there were 4.
Richard, could we go back to the approval? Put the
Yes,
motion
I'll
on
put up the
hold.
slide for you.
Yeah,
So these were the
So
staff
there-
recommended conditions of approval, and then Commissioner Waters, I believe, would like to add,
there we go. Thank you.
add
Rick.
a,
Yeah.
Thank you. So,
I know that wasn't worded very well, but I make a motion to approve with those 4 conditions that are listed. In addition, I would like to see some sort of slatting or something added to the fence to prevent a view of the property.
I'll second.
I have a motion, I have a second. Any further discussion? I hear none. Don, roll call vote, please.
Chairman Frederickson,
Approve?
Commissioner Noble, oh, sorry. Commissioner Goss? She's not here.
I'm here,
You're here, sorry.
I'm just thinking. Approve.
Commissioner Shores,
Approve.
Commissioner Waters,
Approve?
Commissioner Swap? Not here. So it carries.
Thank you, Don. Item 5, announcement by commission members, limited to announcements, availability, or attendance at conferences and seminars, requests for agenda items for future meetings, and requests for reports from staff. No discussion on any of these items. The only thing that I'm aware of is the Arizona Planning and Zoning Conference, August 22nd through the 25th,
I
Richard?
believe that's correct. Mhm.
All righty, I know I'll be attending, and
I'll be attending as well.
Gary will be attending too, so
I'll be turning 41.
happy birthday.
Happy
Thanks.
birthday.
With that, any further announcement?
No?
All right, I'll take a motion for adjournment.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
I have a motion, I have a second, any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? None, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Don.